start canning our tomatoes, you make sure your tomatoes are washed and they're clean, they're good tomatoes. You put them in hot boiling water for a minute, that is 60 seconds. This is called blanching, and the reason why we are blanching our tomatoes is to remove the loose skin from the tomatoes. And after 60 seconds, you put them in cold water to stop the heating process. So as you can see from the picture, the tomatoes loose skin is easily removed, like you can see. So those are the tomatoes. Now you can core them, removing the seeds, and you cut them into pieces. You can have them whole tomatoes if you want, but the reason is they take up much space. So after cutting them in pieces, you get your lemon juice. For this one, this is my personal choice. Usually it's advisable you use store-bought lemon juice or citric acid, but tomatoes are already acidic, and that's why I'm using lemon juice. So you make sure your bottles are in boiling water. After washing the can, you put them in boiling water. Then you use your tongues to get the one bottle at a time, to fill a bottle at a time, then put it back in the canner. And that's my canner that I'm using. So before we start, you're gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, then a teaspoon of salt at the bottom. You put this at the bottom so that as you feel everything gets the lemon juice. This is done to just increase the acidic, because we are water bathing the tomatoes, so we don't know. I know tomatoes are acidic, but just don't know how much, just to be safe. That's why we're adding more acid to the tomatoes. And then you start filling each bottle one at a time. That's the bottle filled, and once it's filled, you get whatever you can use to remove the bubbles. Make sure there are no bubbles, so you try to push in and there are no bubbles in each bottle, and that's why I'm doing that, to remove the air bubbles, because you don't want the air bubbles trapped in there. After making sure there are bubbles, you leave about half an inch space from up to the top, from the edge of the water to the top. Then get your lid from the hot water, because it's very hot, that's why I'm using a tongue to cover. Then get the ring also from the hot water. This is just to make sure you don't contaminate anything. Then close it, not very tight, just like finger tight, that you can see the bottle is moving, so it's not very tight. Then get your bottle, put it back in the boiling water. Then start filling all the other bottles. After they are filled, as you can see, they are filled and they're boiling. Then you add more water. So don't add cold water. Make sure you have hot water at hand, so that you don't disturb the heating process. It just continues boiling. And at this time, you can set your timer to 40 minutes once it's covered. So from the top of the bottle to where the water ends, it should be at least 2 inches of water boiling on top. The water bottles should be all covered in water, and the space at least should be 2 inches. Then start boiling. After they're boiling, turn the heat off and let it sit for 5 minutes. Then after that, you can start taking out your bottles out like I'm doing. So after taking out your bottles, you let them sit for 12 hours to cool down. Don't touch them. Don't let the kids touch them. Then after 12 hours of cooling, you just make sure they're tight, everything is okay. Then you can pack. There you have your tomatoes. They are good to stay for a year.